Okay,
Get our fearless leader.
in the absence of our chairman, who's indisposed tonight, I will open the April 28th planning board meeting at 7 o'clock, I'll call it. Pretty close. First on the list is a continued expedited site plan review. The application has been withdrawn by the applicant. So that one's off our
Yep.
table. In the absence of Craig, I guess I'll appoint Jack as a voting member for the purpose of tonight's meeting. Next on the agenda is DNF Development. Site plan review. This is a proposed duplex in the Chase Grove Village District. I think he says North Ware in the application, but it's Chase Grove. We haven't, since I've been on the board, we haven't heard one of these, so this will, we don't hear them very often. But we don't have any real formal application other than this conceptual design review application, which is pretty brief. Fine. Are you, Mr. Giovanni,
Yes,
you want to explain your
sure.
proposal here?
Yeah, I'm Dave Giovanoli, and I just bought the property, 86 Reservoir Drive. I don't know if you're familiar with that property. It's an existing trailer right now. It's in pretty rough shape. I look in a tax car. It looks like you guys, town took ownership like 5, 7 years ago, whatever. Anyways, it was in pretty rough shape. The garage is the same thing, had some holes in it, so the plan was to just take it all down, because it's just a trailer. It's still got the tongue on it and the wheels, whatever. Yeah, for architectural design review, I attached some of the pictures, some of the neighboring houses. They had a quick reference to what's there. There seemed to be some ranches, and then next to it, there's some more colonial style structures. Like 72 is a colonial, and 62 is a cape, and then 60 is a ranch, but the ones either side of it is more an older style, a colonial, I call them colonial looking building. So I'm proposing the same, I want a colonial building. Also, maybe you saw the IP attached, the proposed two-story colonial with a portico over the front doors. Color's not quite the picture, be more of a traditional block roof, block shutters. I don't know if you have any questions.
I mean, this picture, you think it's pretty representative of what you want to do?
Yeah, other than, like I said, the colors. I mean, a black would be black roof,
Yep.
black shutters, more traditional looking.
What color are you thinking about for the siding?
Oh, what, I forgot that. You guys have attached what I sent?
Oh, we got this thing here, but the nickel, it says on here, is that?
Yeah, I think it was a nickel. Is it the Harvey?
Yeah, we've got this color, this black and white photo, it's kind of,
Yeah, it doesn't really.
can't see what nickel looks like.
My wife picked it out, trying to match what the neighbors were, kind of the nickel
A
base.
little soft green,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't see that. I took a look at this morning.
Yes, sharing, see,
Yeah, I can see it when you get it, we'll pass it
Um,
around.
The, couple things that come to mind. The, I don't know what you know about, like, the window trim, vinyl windows and things. I mean, personally, I have no problem with the vinyl windows or vinyl siding. But they make, and they call it Cambridge trim on vinyl windows. And it's 3.5-inch flat stock.
Okay, I know what you're talking about, 3.5
Yeah,
flats.
and it's actually got a stool on the window, like an old window stool, like the old colonials do. It's not just like a piece of J channel under it like these have in this picture.
Okay.
It all comes all pre-assembled on the window. You buy the window with the Cambridge
Three-
trim,
3.5 inch flat on the top and the side,
Yep.
and then,
and it's got a stool on the bottom. And the stool has a channel underneath
Yeah,
it, so
regular
the siding
sill.
stuck right
yeah,
underneath
regular
it.
J, built-in J, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you're talking about,
Yeah, it looks a lot more realistic, like a wooden window.
yeah.
And personally, I'd like to see those on the front of the house anyway, what
Yeah,
you do
that's
on the
fine.
sides
I
and
have
the
no
back.
problem with that, because a lot of the house, it was like 908, I think I used 908s.
Yeah, but, and you get that same, it's called Cambridge trim, if you want to jot that down, but they do the same thing around the doors. Then you see no J channel at all on the front of the house.
Yeah, just saying, when you say Cambridge, that's the same as 3.5 inch flat, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep, yeah, the vinyl manufacturers call it Cambridge.
Sometimes around the doors, they
Yeah.
put what that, forget what they
Yeah, it's
call
better
it.
than the 908, it's
Yeah.
wider.
It's wider,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times I get the windows through Harvey Industries, so they're local, right,
Yep.
Londonderry,
Yep.
yeah.
Sometimes they put the brick molding around it too.
Yeah.
Vinyl brick molding, it raises, it looks better
You know,
than.
that 908 is more,
Yeah, the
Cambridge
other-
is more colonial, more,
Cambridge is more colonial.
yeah.
It's flat, yeah.
And the other thing underneath the soffit, I mean, these windows look like they're fairly close to the soffit, but except for a couple of newer houses here. But even this little, they have sometimes it's dental molding, sometimes it's crown molding. These houses, it's flat underneath the roof, like on
Yeah, I
the
know what you-
72 Reservoir
72,
Drive and
yeah.
94. That has that flat piece of trim up underneath the roof that the siding goes to, instead of
Right.
the siding going right to the soffit.
Right, but basically right above the window, the flat,
Right.
right, all the way
Yeah.
up, right?
Right. Again, that, just on the front of the house, I mean,
Yeah, that's, I have no
Yeah.
issue with that, that's fine.
and all the others are, the pictures are, they're even windows, there's no Oriels, so I mean, I think the window style itself is fine.
I mean, along the bottom, I know 72 doesn't have it. You usually have the freeze board.
Your
with the
freeze board,
sills,
yep,
But 72 doesn't have it, I don't know if we,
yeah, the one, the 72, that was actually,
108?
that's barreled down the bottom, they tighten the siding up,
Okay, yeah,
so it's kind of barrel looking. Either one is fine, either that barrel look like that or the freeze board,
okay.
in my opinion anyway. They're both colonial style details.
Right. Yeah, I could
But
just
with
do-
vinyl, you're better off, it's a
freeze-
lot easier doing
freeze.
freeze board.
Yeah, freeze
Yeah.
board.
And then the other thing I'd request, it may be a little bit more expensive, but it's not tremendously. Those porch posts shown in this picture are pretty thin. It's like a 4x4 at the top and bottom, but because it's turned, it's really thin in the middle, which isn't real colonial of
Right.
the day. They make a 6x6 that's the same, but it's bigger.
Diameter.
It's a bigger diameter.
Your turn part's bigger
Yeah.
diameter, yeah.
So, I mean, either a 6x6 square post or a 6x6 turn post would be better than this little 4x4 one.
Okay.
The old farmhouses, all the details like that were bigger, a lot bigger than
Right,
this.
right, yeah, I know what you're saying, it does look,
And there's 3 posts there, so, it's not,
no, it's not a big.
yeah. And one last thing, on the corners, the vinyl extruded corners,
You want a big wide corner.
yeah,
Right, Yeah.
yeah, I'd rather you do it in like,
PVC, they have.
PVC?
They have a big corner.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
4-inch PVC.
yeah. So
you
it's,
want the
so
wider
it's like
than
6
four,
inches,
like
6 inch,
6 or-
6 or 8 inch.
Inch.
Or eight.
Yeah, so it's like 8 in the front, 6 around the side, so it's, yeah,
Yeah, the
just,
big, I know what you're saying.
yeah. Those are the details I think that would make it look more like the village.
Because they have the fluted, well, you don't want a fluted.
No, the fluted, I mean, you can do a
The
fluted,
fluted is
but,
like, I think there's 6.
but those are usually, they're hollow, they might have a piece of foam behind them, but they look,
Yeah,
it's vinyl. The other ones that we're talking about are actual
PVC.
PVC boards.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Composite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, not composite, it's straight PVC.
Yeah, it's PVC, yeah.
yeah.
I use it all the time, I replace the ones in my
Yeah, I
house.
did, I haven't put a piece of
Every
pine
time-
outside the
every
house in
time
20 years.
That old, it's an old colonial, every time one of them's rotted, I rip it off and I put the PVC, because I don't wanna go back at it again.
Yeah, it paints just like wood, you paint it once, it'll last for 30 years.
Yeah, well, I didn't care, it's all white trim anyway,
Yeah.
so it matches.
I mean, and what I'm talking about is for the front only, just to give it the
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I have no
the
problem.
old
with that.
colonial type look. instead of a vinyl house type look.
Yep.
And if you do the, you're gonna do some plantings in the front to hide the concrete, that's fine. Any board members have thoughts about this?
No, I think you addressed it. Yeah, I think you addressed everything pretty much as far as to make it look more colonial. It looks pretty good from where it sits.
Are you actually gonna have a star?
No, that's, I'm not gonna have the stuff.
You want one?
No, it wasn't.
Maybe a cross, but not a star.
It's more of a conceptual.
Oh, yeah, the one other thing, it's shown here, but just to verify that you can have like 12-inch roof overhangs on the gables and
Yeah.
everything? It's not gonna be just
Yeah, no,
flat
yeah,
rakes?
it'll be, on the gable ends, it'll be 12 inch.
Yeah,
Orange.
yeah.
12 inch on the gables, yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't really show it here, but yeah.
Yeah, the picture really, it doesn't show it.
Yeah, over the gable ends, up
Yeah.
the rakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of assuming that's what we do for the architectural review part of this, is the
Yep.
street view of the house, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be set back. What? 25,
Yeah, you're probably 75 feet off the street. the way you got it shown
75,
there.
yeah, 25, at least 75 by the looks of it. Dan can probably answer that. What's the setback from the road? About 75 feet?
How far is it, or what is it?
Yeah, it looks like it's about 75 feet, the
It's
house
pretty far back there, it's much more than the,
The setback.
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 Yeah, I see your setback line's 25,
yeah.
and that's a
The
good
the
chunk.
well radius is
in.
75 feet, and it looks like it's about the well radius off the street if you move the well, so, yeah, it looks like about 75.
Yeah. The map's a little tough, well, I'm looking at the one he did on the
I
front
know the well
page.
radius is 75 feet, so if you move the well ahead a few feet, I mean, it's probably
You got the
70,
well.
75 feet, somewhere on there,
It's a whisker closer to the road than the existing trailer, but not much.
yeah.
Okay.
The real house is still closer than the road.
I can't quite see it on the mini septic design, so. Proposed well.
Anybody from the public, everything to say? Want anything to say regarding this? No? Okay. I'll close the public comment period. Any other board members? Anybody want to make a motion? I jotted the stuff down if anybody wants to read them.
Make a motion that we approve the conceptual
Architectural review.
conceptual review for 86 Reservoir Drive with the following addendums. The, was it 1/6,
1x6.
1/6 below the soffit on the wall, 3.5
Flat trim around the windows.
I have flat trim around the window stools, flat trim around the doors, 6x6 post on the front porch turned instead of 4x4s, 12-inch gable end overhangs, and 6 to 8-inch PVC corner boards. For a second.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Seconded by Frank.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you're good.
Let's check them. Dan in the septic system.
Okay. Next, we have a conceptual for Randy Gibbon.
You want to review the septic plan for it? or-
No.
Oh, it's already been done? Okay.
So, my crayon sketch.
Oh, you've got two in here tonight,
There's a
okay.
lot more people here than I thought, so we're gonna have to share a couple on the end, and I'm gonna go from memory. Basically, they've got about a 16-acre lot, and they want to cut off the house on a 5-acre lot and then have a 10-acre back lot that's vacant land. There's enough road frontage that's paved to do the 50 feet for the back lot and 250 for the front lot, so we're good there.
Which road, what doesn't show on the
it's
road, but what's the road name?
Old Francistown.
That's what I thought, okay. Okay, sorry, go ahead there.
No problem. So, there's currently a house that'll be on the 5-acre lot, and there's a road to the back that has a wetland crossing that was done years and years and years ago, pre-permitting. So I don't anticipate any issue with that. The biggest stumbling point that I have is that I have to meet the soils-based lot loading, which is somewhere around 2 acres per lot. So, and it has to be contiguous, to the best of my knowledge. So I think that I have those areas. If we don't, then we'd seek a variance for that. But the existing house and the proposed house, neither of them will be on the contiguous minimum buildable area. I don't believe as though that's a problem, but I just wanted to run that by you folks before we get too deep into it. We certainly will meet all the regulations for the state for septic and well and house setbacks and everything, so we can fit them in envelopes that are smaller than the minimum buildable area, but they just won't be on that minimum buildable area that's required by the town.
The existing house is staying though, right?
Yeah, the existing house is staying.
Okay, so that's basically a non.
Well, it's staying right where it is, but the contiguous area
Yeah.
is going to be on the other side of a wetland from that house. So it
Right.
will not be on a minimum amount of contiguous area.
Okay.
And we're also proposing a shared driveway for the two lots.
I think the biggest question is, can you put the house in the area of the lot that doesn't meet the minimum lot size requirement of Article 14?
Yeah, I certainly can.
No, but do you have to?
Exactly, yeah.
And-
That's, that's the biggest, I think that's the biggest question for you folks. If I can't meet the minimum contiguous area, then that's a zoning matter. But those were the issues that I kind of came up with when I looked at it. And I think that's the only one that I really need a clarification on, but I wanted to run it by you folks before we dive into it.
I take it this is like staying in the family, so to speak. When another family member's getting this?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I don't believe, Article 14, we have a minimum lot sizing area that they have to meet, even though that, if the lot's 5 acres, they still need to meet this minimum lot sizing area for the
Yep.
buildable land.
Buildable land.
And it has to be contiguous, correct? That, I believe I saw that in there when I looked through it.
No, based on upon soil type, and determine lots of the entire area must be contiguous, non-wetland soils, yes.
Yeah.
So,
But it does not say that the house
there.
has to be in that area. It can be somewhere else that meets all the setback requirements.
Sure, which is basically what we're proposing for both of the houses. It's a unique piece in that there's a couple of streams that cut through the property, so it really kind of chunks it up.
Yep.
I take that's the green
That's the
crayon?
green, yeah, that's the green. Yep. Yeah.
Should have switched the blue for the green, should have put the
You
blue
know,
for the
when
water.
you sit
and
there and you get a box of colored pencils out and you start drawing, it's like, yeah, okay, this will work, yeah.
Follow like the
Yeah.
dig safe codes,
All in
blue is
hindsight,
water.
Yeah, I didn't give you a key or anything, but I figured that we could just go over it and you
Yeah.
heckle me and it'd be fine.
Article 14 says where condominiums, duplex, multifamily,
Yeah.
and each unit has to meet the minimum, the lot sizing, number of units, times number of units times the lot sizing.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it doesn't say anything anywhere about that the dwelling has to be located within that area. Which,
One would assume that might have been the intent, but that's
I
not what's
believe it
written in
was. I
black
mean,
and
I
white, so.
have no problem with that. I understand how land
Yep.
Sure.
goes.
Yep. Yeah, so we can meet the regulations, and if that, the house is situated outside of that, then it's not a big deal.
Right.
Okay.
Anybody else? Any ideas on that?
The,
No?
This is on Old Francistown?
yep, it's right before, it's the last house before it turns to dirt.
Oh, okay.
It's down the Rand, it's Randy's.
I know where it is now. Well, I kept looking at it, I'm thinking, when I knew Randy was here for this, but I know that there's other property on another road, so I was just thinking, how does this work? Now I know, yeah.
So no issues with the shared driveway?
Not for two lots.
No?
Yep, okay, and,
Just make sure you have the the
oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
maintenance agreements.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, we can handle all that, that's easy.
Yeah.
And then
think you can handle
the 10-acre backlot with 50 feet of paved frontage is obviously a.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're good there, and then 250 and 5 acres for the other one.
Yep.
Okay. I guess that's all we needed from you.
Okay, that was pretty good.
Feel free to hang that on the refrigerator.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna,
We'll come back in
you
a,
wanna autograph it,
we'll
I'll
come
I'll
back in
make
a
sure.
month or so, and we'll get you a better one you can
Yeah,
put next to it.
I'll
and
put
see
that
how well I did on my
autograph it,
sketch.
this and an
Put
original,
put up there with the alphabet magnets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
original Dan drawing, that may be famous someday.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
See you, Randy.
Kind of interesting.
All right, you can have it. That was the easy one. First I ever seen one with crayons, but.
Well, he said it was green.
Yeah, he did. I thought he was just pulling my leg.
Next on the agenda, it's not on the agenda, but next up is Dollar General. Let me give you a little explanation here.
I'm gonna get my phone out because it's on there.
Bruce, this is just, if you remember him, the owner.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yep.
For the record, Eamon Moran, president of the Overton Realty Company, 455 South Park Highway.
As you know, the place is, that lot, the property is about a mile from my house. I drove by it the other morning, and it dawned on me that the siding didn't look quite right. So I came down yesterday morning, I had Tony pull a file for me. And this is the plan that we had in the site plan file. And we had discussions with, when they had first come in, the building had a lot more blue on it. I don't believe it had siding on it either. And I made some comments that we didn't like the color, or the look of the building, so the architect gave us this. And this has an exterior finish schedule on it. And everything on this exterior finish schedule is hardy plank siding, hardy plank siding, hardy board, hardy board, hardy board, hardy trim board, metal wall panel in the back, metal wall panel on the end, but the street side and the parking lot side are all hardy plank. And that's the color schedule. And on the application, item 7 is elevation view or photographs of all buildings indicating the dimensions and surface treatment, which is what that plan accomplishes.
I want that back.
So I saw that and compare that to what's on the building. So I talked to Romeo this morning and I asked him if the building file had anything in it as far as what was going on in the building. And he said, no, after he did a little research. So he didn't issue a permit that contradicts what we approved at the planning board level. So, as far as I see it, this was on the checklist for the site plan, and this was submitted to complete that checklist item. So this is part of the approved site plan.
And there's not hardy board on the building now?
No, there is not. So, I talked, in my conversation with Romeo, I said, Romeo, do me a favor. I said, you need to go down there and notify them immediately that what they have on there is not according to the site plan. Because I didn't want it, I wanted them to be on notice the minute it came to light, to give them as much chance as possible to rectify it or however they want to handle it. So, when Romeo went down there, they were asking him when they could get a certificate of occupancy. But there's no plantings, there's a retention pond that needs to be finished. The asphalt, the base coat is down, it's been striped. It's been, everything, all the labeling is on it for the handicap parking, for the stop on the pavement. I mean, everything, all the markings are on the pavement, even though it's not the finished course, which is fine, because they know they have to put a finished course on there. Light poles aren't up, dumpsters, fence isn't in there, and none of the grasses, none of the loamer grass has been planted yet. So, but they're really looking to occupy the building and open it as soon as they possibly can. So, I said to Romeo, you know, and I talked to Craig through this whole process, and I talked to Naomi. There's no reason why we can't allow them to bond what needs to be done, because none of it that needs to be done, with the exception of the light poles, which they say are going up tomorrow, is a safety issue. The building inside is 100% complete. I've got pictures, all the exit signs are up, all the exit lighting's up.
How about the safety bollards around
The
around
the bollards are there in the front.
yeah,
they're not-
well in the pond?
No, back for the well and propane tank is not in yet,
Yeah,
but
okay,
they could block that entrance off. I mean, there's no,
Yep.
There's
they'll
not-
have to.
that's a service entrance only where that stuff is. There's no public parking over there.
It doesn't always mean that somebody
No, I
from the
know.
public
No,
will
no.
pull in there and whack
Yeah,
it, which
no, but
happens more than
They've
not.
got some like Mitchie blocks there that they
Yep.
could block that
Yep.
area
Exactly.
off so that they can't get
That's one
there.
of the things I saw, it's,
So what's gonna be done with the siding?
Well, that's a big question. As far as I'm concerned, because it's part of the approved site plan, we got two options. They can bond fixing it, and,
that and the second page.
well, they'll have to bond everything else too that needs to be done, but they could also include in the bond, you know, correcting siding. Or they could say, well, we don't want to correct it, then they have to come for an amended site plan, because that is part of the site plan approval. So they have to come for an amended site plan.
I haven't been down through there for a couple of weeks, so I'm not sure what's on it.
But if they,
Just vinyl or,
it's stucco,
Yeah.
oh, stucco?
yeah. But if they want,
It's an ephes material.
it's similar to stucco. The appearance, it looks like stucco.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, from the street, you'd think it's stucco. It's a stucco look.
Was it spray-on material?
But it's the
Is that
same,
a spray-on material,
they
or
got,
is it just
they match the colors, but
just
they didn't match the material.
bonded on?
It's
Yeah.
bonded on. It's a material that has a base layer, it's an insulation board.
Yep.
Body. So that's insulated, and fastened onto the exterior.
The building, yeah.
Then there's a wire mesh component that goes over that insulation board. And then the finished material is placed onto that, and then that's painted.
Okay.
I mean, the color's right. No complaint about the color, the color scheme and everything. And the bottom part, you know, this dark brown down the bottom, I mean, that's not that ephes material, that's something else there, isn't it?
That's the same material that we proposed, which is the Nichi Hasa.
Right, so that's correct. It's this mid-color and the blue color up top that apparently,
So it's not clapboarded with this hardy
it's not
board?
lap siding.
Yeah, right.
So could I add to that what I had said on the phone with you?
Not yet.
Okay.
we'll get to it. I just want to lay the groundwork here for everybody, so that everybody's on the same page.
Yep, makes sense.
So, my dilemma, our dilemma, as a board is, because the site plan, this plan is part of the site plan, this is how it was approved, that needs to be there to issue the certificate of occupancy.
Bond it.
So, he's got, even if he wants to come before us, again, to ask for a amended site plan, I think he still needs to bond it to get a temporary certificate of occupancy, and then he can, while it's under bond, he's more than welcome to apply to come before us and amend the plan and try to get us to change the site plan. But I don't think that he can get a temporary CO with that wrong material on there without it being bonded,
Yeah.
because it is part of the approved site plan.
Plus whatever else is on the punch list.
And then, I mean, then we have to look at the rest of the stuff that's on the punch list to kind of come up with a number for the bond and see. But to get, he's looking for a temporary CO until that stuff is done, which if it's bonded, we've bonded landscaping, some things like that before, so I mean, that's nothing unusual.
Yep.
So, and as far as the building, I think the only thing that's outstanding on the building really is an acceptable water test.
Yeah, final water tests and, sign off approval for anything from health department.
Yeah, I've got that list here.
Yeah, I got it here.
Oh.
Sample, testing, maintenance.
You know, there's things on here about painting the you know, the paving, but it's already painted, and the reason why it's on here is because obviously, once they put a top coat on, they gotta paint it again.
Repaint it, yeah.
But the painting is, as it stands right now, is done, it just hasn't been top coated. We'll need, and exterior, the light poles, like I said, I got from two different people, you know, one guy there, and that electrician's gonna be putting those up tomorrow, and everything's already got pictures of them, the light fixtures are on the
Yep.
poles, everything's ready to go. So that's easy enough to figure out, drive by and see the light post up, there's only 3 of them. So, now that the board, I guess, understands everything, Mr. Eby, you wanna, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
I said it before, but my name is Eamon Moran. I'm the president of the Aubuchon Realty Company, and we are the owners of 455 South Stark Highway in Weir. I think Bruce did a really nice job summarizing the scope of work that needs to be completed. That's outstanding, the catch basins, the site work, the top coat, and some of the other items you highlighted. I would like to address the board and the siding issue because it was quite a live subject matter. As we all have experienced over the last year or two, there's supply chain issues across the board. And I was sitting here with the board last July when the topic of the earth tone colors of the building came up, and so we modified the architectural plan, and we came back in and got it approved. And that building had a metal siding component, a hardy board siding component, and then the Nichiha. So when we were notified by our siding company that the color bronze that the board had approved and put in its condition was not available and would not be available for, I think they said August, but don't quote me. I said, I owe this building to Dollar General before that, so I can't do that. And we went through the various options, and what was available through vendor and the ability to control color was this exterior insulated fastened siding, which is I'm referring to as EIFS, the acronym. And that's a more expensive sort of material. It takes more time to put on, but what we could do is we could control the color of it, and I could go get what we're calling on this exterior architectural elevation.
yeah, navy blue and sailcloth.
Well, that's the first version that you did not like, right?
Okay.
So then the approved version had a dark bronze material.
Yeah. Dark bronze.
Yeah, and so I personally went to Sherman-Williams 2 weeks ago and found a dark bronze color and passed that along to the EFS provider, who was eventually the person who's painting the building as we sort of speak here. To accomplish the board's reference to the color tone being earth tone and that bronze color. And that is what color, the color that is up on the building today, but in the form of EFS, not Hardy. So, my question to you guys would be, what is a mechanism for a minor site plan approval? Does it require a public hearing again? That would be news,
Yeah, any modification to a site plan, notify abutters and do a public hearing.
even a minor modification like
Yep.
restriping a parking lot, refacing a building, that sort of thing.
Well, this isn't, I mean, that's a little bit more than minor. I wouldn't classify this as, put on the same level as laying out a parking lot slightly differently, because it's a lot more visible to the passerbyers in the street.
That parking lot, you're just finishing what you did, is putting a second
Yeah.
coat on, so that wouldn't
So, I mean,
require it.
it's not, I wouldn't classify it as really minor, I wouldn't classify it as major, but it's something I think that we would be remiss by not doing a public hearing.
Just like this. I mean, basically, you come back in again.
But with
But
notification period.
I have a
Notification.
modified elevation plan that shows the existing improvements as they exist today, not as they were approved. And so
But-
why I asked that question is, can I present that to the board to get it approved this evening?
No, we can't, we have
gotta
no,
be posted.
we haven't posted this, it's not a public hearing, it's not, there's no buttersman, we can't modify the site plan tonight.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about how to bond it and how to get you out of here tonight, so that, to get you where you need to be,
Very good.
but
Yep.
we can't talk about modifications to the site plan tonight.
Okay,
So you come in and set it on the, it's gonna be on the agenda. So we
Yep.
can notify, you know, you said have a public hearing, and this was a last minute
Yeah.
agenda. You
Sure.
called today, and it was the last minute to go on, so.
no, and I appreciate you guys seeing me last minute, quite frankly.
I mean, we try to be very accommodating when we can, just to, because we don't wanna be perceived as not public friendly or not
Romeo
applicant friendly.
Romeo has been a stand-up individual. He has come down to the site at a short notice
Mm-hmm.
to have my GC inspect, at their request. Why this didn't come to you guys earlier is when I opened up the zoning code and I opened up building design, section K, and I went into 4A through F. We went through the individual items, and I said to myself, they just need this color. That's what it is in the condition. And I should have came in front of you and said, you guys wanted this color, but you also may have wanted a specific
Yeah, because
material.
the checklist, I mean, on your application, number 7 says.
Yep,
you know,
so we will come back with the updated rendering and I guess to go through the formalized sort of,
But to get you out tonight where you need to be, I think we need to figure out how to, we need to put a number on this thing,
yep. So
so that everybody's comfortable and we can,
So the number I propose is $46,650 and a cash surety bond. I have a few packages here, and,
if you get something, how you come up with that, that'd be great.
yeah.
It's probably more important, you're the voting.
Who wants to review this? I'm gonna give this to the assistant. Check, that's a check.
Oh, you're giving me the check, okay.
He didn't make it out to you.
One of the things you may pass along to your GC, and this is on a different note, that this parking situation down there while they're working is not acceptable to be out in the road like that. And I think they got spoken to before,
He did.
and they still did it, and they were on both sides of the road. And then the personal issue, because I almost hit it at 4 o'clock in the morning going to work with my car, is your improper illegal sign for paving that says temporary paving on a piece of plywood on a thing out on the fog line. I mean, number one, that doesn't meet the requirements for a sign notification for a sign package into a construction zone, and, which is both, all types of wrong. And having it out there like that and leaving it there. Finally, I came by one morning and somebody had thrown it down because I was gonna pick it up and ding it out in the woods, because, I mean, I almost hit it like 3 times.
Yep, I apologize, Anthony's gonna get to that tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
That's not
I'm just
acceptable.
saying, just so, because, I mean, we had complaints when I was still on the Board of Selectmen that, of people going down through there all winter, and these vehicles are parked right out on the white line, behind cones, which is not And even state highways, that's not legal, they're not supposed to park out there.
Yeah, the site was
I
a
understand
lot
the
wetter
site
than we
was,
thought.
was
This-
messed up, but I
Yeah.
mean, there was ways around it, so.
Yeah, you're correct about that.
And they get spoken to, and I guess it just went in one ear and out the other, so.
The DOT came by multiple times because I was
Yeah.
notified.
They're fortunate, and I guess those guys are fortunate that at some point they didn't, the patrol foreman or the district engineer didn't just call the wrecker and start having them towed. I mean, so, and have the police come down and start citing them, so that
I hear
just.
you loud and clear. The message
That was a
out.
real, and I mean, in the wintertime, it was bad enough, and then when I come down through there and you get a tractor trailer parked on the fog line on one side and all the vehicles on the other side, it makes it a little bit of a traffic issue down through there.
Yep.
So if they could do that, I'd appreciate it, that they, next time they come in to put the top coat on, put the proper signage up and, you
I
know,
hear
get somebody
you.
out there for traffic if nothing else.
We'll get someone out there flagging
Yeah.
and do it right.
Some pictures, if anybody wants to see them, just kind of scroll through them. So, we need a number for this exterior building finishes do not match approved elevation. We need a number
My,
to get the hardy plank on there. I mean, I realize you say you want to come in and modify that, but because that's how the site plan is approved, we need a number to get to that point.
okay.
The final paving and stripe, is that is that the cost? That was your cost, 26.5?
For that site component, yeah.
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 Because, to be honest with you, what we're gonna do with the bond it, we're gonna take these numbers and we're gonna double them. We're gonna go times 2.
So you're looking at, what, 100,000 roughly?
Yeah.
Yeah, 90,
And one other thing I'd like to see done, that the parking lot's pretty dirty. I'd like to see it swept. And then, I don't know if Romeo said anything, but the area that's gonna be grass, that's leads up to the door, the entry door, there's a square area that's grass, got extra concrete in it that's really rough. That's kind of a trip hazard. I think maybe you should put up just some safety fence around that to keep you from walking across that area.
Where is that again? At the front,
At the front, right at the very front?
where the asphalt and the current mud and the concrete all meet?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yep.
right there in that corner, just that corner, because I see that as people walking from the parking lot, they're gonna skip across that area to get into the building.
And so what would you like to see there? You're
Just
talking
orange
about,
safety fence, you know, something 3 feet.
temporary or
Yeah, yeah,
permanent?
yeah,
Okay,
just temporary,
all right.
just to keep people from walking there. You can put up with grade stakes.
yeah, like an orange fence?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a-
yeah.
okay.
I can see there's some extra concrete that was put there when they did the sidewalk, and it's kind of rough and uneven, and be like a trip hazard for somebody with a little kid or something could,
I hear you. Yeah, I got little kids.
Yeah.
I see, I hear what you're saying.
yeah. Other than that, I mean, move the construction equipment maybe out back, so it's not scattered around the parking lot. And there was you had some blocks there beside the road, some concrete blocks. Like, pretty big ones, 2 foot by 4 foot or something.
Yeah, I know the ones you're talking about,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you, until the bollards get up by the gas tank and the well, maybe put a couple blocks there to keep people from hitting them.
Yep, that'll suffice.
You wanna see the blocks at the rear loading area?
Yeah.
Before the
to-
bollards
to-
get
to blo-
installed.
Yeah, to block the
Okay.
LP tank and
So
the well.
somebody doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those will work.
I mean, if somebody backs into those, they're gonna damage the car just as well as hitting a bollard, so,
Well,
More, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
But it, it serves the purpose.
No, it serves its purpose, yeah. We sometimes just use those type, like the small Jersey
Yeah,
barriers for
yeah.
heavy things.
And since you haven't got an acceptable water test yet, keep the bubblers shut off, maybe put on the sinks, non-potable water.
when do you expect that to come back, the water test?
Monday.
I mean, they're not using water, there's no sink for preparing food, they're not making coffee, there's no water usage other than the bathroom, so.
There's a bubbler that's currently, that says.
Yeah, but that's, you can unplug that, right, and put it out of use, out of service.
Yeah, we're gonna put it out
Yeah,
of
yeah,
services.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, all the emergency lighting was up in the outside. Once they put those 3 light posts up tomorrow, then, yeah, that's, all the lighting's done.
Yeah, the polls go up, it had said in the supplement to my, letter on page 2, I think it's 9 AM tomorrow morning. The
Yeah.
polls should be going
Yep.
up on the DG punch list.
Yeah. That's easy enough to
Yeah,
confirm. There's 3 poles.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, 4:29, yeah.
Yeah, all the wiring, the pedestals, everything was already there, just never stand the poles up.
Work schedule inside each panel cover. That'll be done tomorrow.
So do you have any kind of number for the siding at all?
Well,
That's the big unknown here.
can I see the old, I just wanna see how many sections. we're talking about. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, for the Hardy. I would say.
The
6.
street side and the sidewalk side, right? I mean,
Backside,
that's all metal.
all metal,
Yeah.
so just the
The
two.
the gable end and the back were
That's it.
metal.
Yeah, I would say that's 20, 24 to 26, to me,
1,000?
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a reasonable number. I'll call it 25.
Read the numbers.
We got 5, 6, 5.
When will the EMS part be complete?
Can I say again?
The EMS, when will that be done?
The emergency management?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm Tom Drews, I'm the construction project manager with Dollar General.
Right?
And so the EMS, Emerson is having real severe supply chain issues right now. And right now, if I put an order for one right now, they're saying 6 months. For this one, I think it's probably still a month away. What we do is the EMS controls the lighting, signage, HVAC,
Yep.
refrigeration ties into it and stuff like that. In the meantime, what we'll do is we have the HVAC on temp T-stats
Mhm.
for the time being, and they're just pre-programmed and set. The lighting will be controlled just at either at the breaker, or we'll have them put in a switch maybe in the office or something. The signage will just be put on a time clock, and they'll go on and off based on time clock. So, and then the refrigeration, when the EMS is all installed, then the refrigeration guys will come home, land all their leads on it too, because the purpose of that is it calls out to the company that did all this install for the refrigeration and freezing. They monitor it, and so they'll do predictive failure. Same thing with the HVAC, they'll do a predictive failure, so it'll actually notify the technician, the company that's servicing that, saying, you know, the compressor's gonna go bad here in X number of hours, here's what you need to have. And so it's a predictive thing, but it's not a showstopper for us at this point.
I wanna just add, and so Tom, you're aware that one of the conditions, the second condition of the approval noted that this is back in July, lights to be shut off a half hour after closing with some security lights on the building.
Right.
So from the EMS system programming, I think that's probably pretty standard.
Yeah.
But for this manual potential timer, in the interim, we just wanna make sure Mary or whoever.
Yeah, well, we'll just have, Dan get a hold of a time clock and you just pre-program it to the store hours.
I mean, they could shut it off when they close, and it meets with it that half-hour window, so.
Well, we like to have the lights on a half hour after we close, just for security, so that the employees, when they're done, they can walk out into the lit parking lot, and the lights just go off.
So we're gonna have NEC put in a temporary timer
Time
on,
clock, yeah,
okay,
to cover that.
to set up
And then when
30
the
minutes
EMS
before.
does come in, they can install
and uninstall that. Yeah, it's kinda dangerous having an employee, the last one out of the
Yeah,
building.
work in the dark.
Walk on the site with no lights on,
Yep.
especially,
For a lot of reasons.
yeah, for a multitude of reasons.
That were high crime.
And there's a small, in your loading area, we had noted that there's, you know, with some security lights on the building. Yeah, back loading area, I think that light
Yeah,
stays
those lights stay on.
fully shielded, but
They're
it's down.
shielded, but they stay on all the time.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's more of a vandalism or some
Yeah.
other mischief
it's
sort of.
vandalism. There's cameras on those parts of the building too.
Thanks, Tom.
So, adding these numbers up, I come up with $81,650. My math right?
I didn't add them up, but
25.
okay.
You talking with the siding as well?
Yes,
15.
yes.
So, it was 46,650,
And you added 25 to that for the
and you
sign.
added 25. Yeah,
71,
so that's-
71,
That's 71,650.
Okay. That's what I said, is my math right?
71. We spoke up.
Good. When we do any bonding at all, for roads, anything, cisterns, anything, we don't just use the cost.
No,
We add on a
contingency.
escalator.
Yeah.
shit standard.
Now, hit,
You get, this is,
Wait, now, hold on
I'll
a
make
second.
this really easy. We'll wire you guys whatever value you want us to
yeah,
wire
yeah,
you.
and I want to be reasonable. I'm not,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not trying to be unreasonable.
It's not a
either.
concern, because I know I'm coming back here when I can come back here and
Yeah,
get on the schedule
yeah.
formally to chat with you guys on a formalized basis.
But in being reasonable, here's what I want to be, I want to do two things. I want to come up with a reasonable number, and I want you to know that we're not going to do any reductions. You get everything done, we'll release the money.
We're getting this done in the next, I'm not gonna see you guys for 4 weeks
Yeah,
plus,
yeah,
'cause
yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to get
I'm-
on the agenda,
I'm just-
right?
I'm just saying,
You
I
have
don't
to
want you to
check-
come back in 2 weeks and call and,
The boss will tell me when I can come back in here, and everything's gotta be done when that's,
Well,
because
at least he knows who the boss is.
so,
I'm very comfortable with that.
okay.
And you guys should say a number. We've been in business for 90 years. We're not walking away from the
So-
site for the,
So
that's
what
not,
do
that's
we
not how
want to
we
do?
act.
For an escalator?
125?
Anybody else got any ideas?
Yeah, I'd say 125 is fine.
That gives a little,
Gives them a little break and,
well, we're looking at almost 100,000 as it is. And we're not sure what the
Right.
exact cost of things, because that changes constantly,
Yep.
twice what you're saying, so. But
So if you
somewhere
wire us 125,000,
between-
take his check
you
back.
can take that back.
Yeah, I don't have that in my bank account, so.
Okay.
Really?
Tuesday,
I need to go down to 110 if you think that's more
I mean,
reasonable.
what, do you have something else in mind?
I wanna do whatever you guys are comfortable with, because I'm coming back here, so, whatever you guys are comfortable with. I think 2X is heavy, so 2X would be 71, that'd be 142.
Yeah.
I think that's quite heavy.
I figured that's a little, that's what I was saying, when you times two, but I figured 125.
110 falls more than 150% of my actual cost that we're talking about here, right? So,
Okay, I'll even go 110.
Okay. Anybody make a motion? What, and then now, this is gonna be, there's gonna be a cash bond,
Yeah,
and then, once we receive it, the building inspector can, based on his final
can give them a CO.
inspection, he can give him a temporary CO.
Yeah.
How long do we wanna give him?
How long do you think it's gonna be all?
I'm
And I understand some of it with the weather, because you can't, do some of the painting this time of year, anything that's gonna get painted outside, or even some of the landscaping and seeding,
you
maybe.
didn't want to rush that stuff,
No,
because
it's
the
gonna
worst thing
turn, it's gonna turn to mud with some of this weather, so.
Exactly.
So what do what's I'm in this same game sometimes in the construction, so I understand.
45 days.
I mean, our goal,
Okay.
I speak, is we'd like the store to look pretty much done and ready to go by, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
we want it.
Well, that's only a month away,
So, yeah.
roughly.
So 45 days is,
45 days works.
Let's move it up to the full month after, so let's do,
What, June?
well, 45 days will put you into June.
okay, so let's
Middle
do,
of June.
let's do
So-
till July 1st. What's July 1st? What's that,
8 weeks, roughly.
It gives you
We're
some
gonna- we need to
breathing
pay it
room.
before it gets too
That's
hot.
60
We-
days?
Yeah,
Doesn't get too hot here.
that's 60 days?
yeah, then watch, it'll be 90 next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know how everybody hopes things
We'll-
happen,
we'll
but,
hope- we'll-
but how you
I
hope
hope
things
to get
happen and
it
how
done
things
before.
happen, you know,
Yeah,
sometimes
we-
are,
I mean, 'cause we want
are
to-
different things.
I get
We'll
that.
we'll give you till July, and then if you're done before that, there's nothing says you can't come in
We're gonna be right back
We'll
in.
do it till July 1st then?
in
Okay.
July 1st. Yeah, I mean, you can give him to July 1st, and if he's done before that, that's just your time, your window. If something happens, weather, whatever,
And if something does happen where you can't get it done by then, get in here and see us before
Good
July
call.
1st.
I will communicate a lot better than I have to the
Yeah.
board, yes. This is a lot of money for us, right? I mean, we have to actually pay
Call-
for all this,
or you
and
can
then
call-
we have to
you
have.
could call the
Right, you're
boss.
paying twice for it.
We're paying twice,
2.5 times.
2.5 times for it, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'll see me soon, as soon as you can see me.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we get that, then if we get the
When can
wire the
Romeo-
bond, and it's
Is Romeo in on Monday, Tuesday? I mean,
Monday. So, you get wired in, then you can see Romeo for,
who is,
Temporary
Temporary
CO
CO.
till July 1st.
till July 1st.
I can talk to you about wiring you, okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you my bank account.
Yeah, please don't go to Mexico. Some other warm
I'll give you
place.
mine too.
Doesn't happen that way. It costs you a lot.
Invite me. Fired.
Somebody
want to make a motion to that, three things, right?
Yeah.
110,000?
I'll make a motion that we, for, I guess it's ARC Commercial Real Estate, is what the title is officially.
Aubuchon Realty Company.
Aubuchon
for
Realty
short,
Company, I
yeah.
was just going off the letterhead.
Yeah.
We give them, agree to give a temporary certificate of occupancy if the following conditions. One, that there's a bond wired for $110,000
Cash bond.
cash bond, and that tomorrow that the poles will be, according to the schedule, the poles will be installed. And this is to cover also for final paving and striping that's not completed, landscaping, the trash area. Parking lot sweeping is kind of not really a big issue. If it rains, it'll be gone anyway. For the site, for the bollards and dumpster area to be enclosed. And again, the poles and the lights will be done tomorrow, so that's not a non-entity. And the the breakers will be marked and done tomorrow. Final water test, and that'll be until July 1, that the CO will be, temporary CO will be available to them, and then come back in before that. And with all this stuff done, all the punch list done, and the checklist will be checked, and the bond will be released. With all
We'll make
that.
it-
If I can just ask, again, because people are asking me on my end, is there any way, somehow, some way, I could find some way, because I understand Romeo's not in tomorrow,
He'll be in Monday.
yeah, and we're up against the clock
Yep.
with our fiscal quarter and all that stuff, so they're my executives way above my pay grade. Are looking at me like I got three eyeballs coming out of my head and saying, is there any way, shape, form, we can allow the store just to do what's called a soft opening, which is we don't advertise it, signs don't come on, nothing, but basically if someone happens to walk in to purchase anything, we just let it happen. Is there any way that, and I know Bruce, we've talked about this somewhat, I know it's not necessarily in your purview, but I understand.
Yeah.
And we probably wouldn't, if we did something like that, it wouldn't be until later in the afternoon.
Later in the afternoon, when?
Tomorrow. Tomorrow's the cutoff for us, so that's all and whatever your answer is fine with me. I just have to be able to go back to, the higher.
I mean,
ups and
I would say, well,
I made that ask and.
if we get to Romeo for first thing Monday,
Do you know what, I mean, it's not, we can't make that decision.
we can't make that decision, no, but I'm saying the best we could do is say, put it on, tell Romeo to be down there first thing in the morning when he comes in, leave him a message to do that, and it's May 2nd.
Yeah, Yeah, I understand that.
And
it's
you're
just- I just gotta-
off to the
I
races.
just have to be able to check that box and say,
Yep.
I asked,
Yep, you asked. We can't give you that.
I get it. I get
That's
it.
above our,
Oh, my pay grade.
it's above our pay grade. It's Romeo's pay grade. What was he referred to the other night in the meeting?
Governor.
The governor?
Does somebody want to make a motion, second to Jack's motion?
Second to Jack.
Any questions from the board at all?
Well, what I didn't hear, or didn't pick up on, was the siding issue in your,
We put that in the bond amount.
okay.
Yeah, we added that amount into the bond amount.
25,000.
Yeah, I understood that, I just
Yeah.
didn't hear that. Okay,
Yeah, the bond's not going anywhere till that is straightened
all
out one way or the other.
Does it, I'm looking towards the future, does it make sense for the board, to come by the site before we see each other in June, or you just
Yeah,
wanna-
I'm sure we
We'll
will.
take a
Okay,
trip
you-
on.
Yeah.
all right.
We
But
don't
if
need to do it as
something
board.
more formal should happen before that
Yeah.
hearing, just let me know,
Okay,
and we'll show up and we'll walk the site. If you guys wanna do it on your own time and have Romeo do the final TCO to CO
Yep.
release, fine by me too.
Yep. And we're gonna give you, this is enough breathing room till the 1st of July. I'm sure you'll be here way before then. You're looking at the end of May, so.
all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, Romeo has some instructions.
Okay, very good. We'll see you guys in a short while here.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
for your time tonight.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
your time, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the detailed list. Made it a little easier.
I was typing furious.
So you're not only the
I usually.
GC, but you're also the clerk typist?
Yeah, usually when I go to do a punch list, I'm writing it all down, then when I get back to my office, I type it out formally.
Yep.
This time I was carrying my laptop with me.
There you go.
and
Makes
I
it easier.
Stopped and I was typing it all in, I thought, it might not be the perfect grammar.
That's what you get spell check for,
Yeah,
if it works.
but I was trying to get it done in the room before 1:30.
Yep. We'll make sure we leave a message for him, so you'll see him. Somebody who can come in, or we'll see, he'll get the message first thing Monday morning.
I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's work it out on Monday so these guys can go and we can get you.
Yeah, no problem, thank you.
Minutes. We only have one set, right, April 14th?
Yeah.
It's a switch.
Well, if we keep doing them every month, then we'll only have one set, right, every meeting.
So in the minutes, do you want typos and stuff?
Yeah.
Unless the typo makes it mean something else.
Well, there were a couple statements here that didn't make sense to me. I will.
What the traffic
I should have
that
used different colors.
would be to have a.
So the,
Like the do not answer sing?
that-
I saw that, do
yeah,
not
the-
answer sing on Quaker Street. Instead
Yeah.
of, just transposed the G.
Autocorrect,
Huh?
it's autocorrect.
Yeah, it didn't autocorrect, it said you just sing. But I guess it could be a singing.
So on the first.
Where's the coffee?
Under the following items were given to Mr. Revere, or whatever
Rivero,
his name
yep.
is. Yeah. So in the first sentence there, I would, just past the two of the, can be deleted.
You will also need a special
Parking
exception for the
spaces.
two
Parking
parking
spaces.
spaces, yes.
Two parking spaces.
Two of the can be omitted.
I think that was on someone's list. Let me check later.
Yeah. Then the 1, 2, 3, fourth sentence, after farmer's market, delete that R.
What is that?
There isn't sufficient room unless the farmer, the market area?
Farmers
No.
Market area is
Area,
about,
need a,
And the
Yeah.
farmers,
needs an A.
area
Oh,
is
R,
Area,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
40 to
Yeah.
50 feet.
is about, yeah.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that, if the leach field cannot support the traffic, this would be, have to, two-way, I didn't understand that one at all.
Two-way
There was
aisle.
a proposed leach
If the leach field
there
cannot
every
support the
year.
traffic, This would,
Is
Have to
this
be a
leach
two-way
field
aisle.
B.
capable?
Would have
crossed
to
out,
be
B2.
Yeah, B two
Have
have,
to be-
that.
Well, I just copied a list that the chairman put together. I just looked at it.
Yeah. No, I hate bringing it up because I suck at typing, but that one didn't make sense. If the leach field.
So we gotta
that's-
take B and 2 and have and reverse them.
Where, I don't even know where you are.
So it's in the fourth sentence there?
Not
The distance
support the
between the
traffic.
side lot line.
This would
If
have,
the-
The
a two-way
B2 have is
style.
backwards. If you go have to B instead of B2 have, you have it.
Have
Have to be
be-
B2, yeah. I didn't see, it. You're right.
I had it marked.
I wonder if he's watching this.
No, Bruce-
And then the first sentence
Right,
on
yeah.
the,
where's that
on
one?
page 2, the new approved septic design
That showed,
that showed,
be shown.
be shown, I think it should be shown.
Should.
Yeah, showed
Should.
first, should be should, yes.
Yeah,
So it says that-
delete the that and the be, and then design
Yeah.
should, or the second shown.
Should.
New approved septic
Should be
design
shown.
that
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
should be shown
That's it.
I'll mark mine up and then we can give it to you.
on the sketch. It said should be shown, not showed,
Those are
be- it's probably
Yeah,
said should be
just
shown.
Yeah.
cross out that showed
Area.
and should.
That's it.
Should be, put should. Is that one actually failed?
It's.
On its
well,
way.
There's no approval for it, it's never approved for anything, I mean, it's just, it's an,
Well, I
when it
mean,
was built, it probably didn't need any approvals, but because it's
Yeah, way back,
before 1972, there's no plan, no approval, no nothing.
and that's a stone and probably
Who
stone,
knows,
but
it could be a dry well, who knows what it is.
could be just.
Full of
yeah.
rocks.
And then 1, 2,
Well, I mean,
3,
and they
4.
drive, and they've been,
The fifth
well,
sentence
We can't-
down,
no, they
you
don't drive
could,
over it. Make sure
no,
they-
I mean, they,
Well, we don't think they're driving over it anyway.
Delete the word is there, and it'll make sense. There's an extra is in there.
Was that,
Oh, I
Right.
missed that.
On the
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, the NHDOT driveway permit is, says
oh,
that,
cross out the first is.
yeah, just cross out that first is.
says, all original case, supply, copy, enclosed.
Not that it matters, 'cause
The other thing is that there's two different, we have two different people that have weighed in on that from DOT, though.
Yeah, Craig tracked down the driveway permit problem and sent me one with all the notes and everything the other day.
Yeah.
But it's really, well,
Because
I think
one
Craig
shows
has
the
it.
original one from way back,
I think Craig has now we can put it in the file, so it's
Yeah.
there, but.
because the first one I saw was from dated back in the, I think, the 80s,
Mhm.
70s or 80s. And then
Okay.
the next one was another engineer that came out.
well, you know he's closing the store.
No,
They're closing.
they are?
Yeah.
How come they're not?
Said they needed the coffee truck, the revenue from the coffee truck to sustain the business. And I only know that because he sent an email to the wife, basically saying, pull your honey out.
Yeah, well, I mean, originally, if
Okay, hey,
that's, yeah, so he's closing that, that's why.
Anybody else have any comments about the minutes?
No,
No.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I have a question.
Okay.
There was a paragraph in there about, I think at the end of the meeting, I asked about the monitoring wells. And Craig appointed me to go ask somebody about them.
the monitoring wall?
Yeah, it's on the
Oh,
bottom.
yeah, here it is on
second
the
page.
bottom.
So I did that, and there was no records found, so I'm just, I think it's something that needs to be pursued eventually.
Can we talk about that after the minutes? We accept the minutes, Chuck?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
All right. I move we accept the minutes as modified.
Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions?
Abstention.
Okay.
I wasn't here.
Neither was I, but I can put on the corrections.
Yeah.
Just so I'm aware, the monitoring well is located,
I'll do new business, talk about the monitoring well.
yeah,
Yeah, the thing is apparently, there's a record somewhere of the results, which,
where is the well?
down in B and B Lane, is it? I don't
No. Oh, the ones down,
Right by
Oh, yeah,
Bruce.
right by Bruce Merrill's,
Right by- yeah.
when he had the salt contamination.
down by the old body shop, yeah.
So, I just think that, you know, if we're gonna monitor the wells, we ought to really,
Yeah, so,
assess what the meaning of it. So I'm just.
so how do we find out, Naomi, if anybody's, there's a couple places down there we've requested they do annual monitoring.
Yeah, Tony calls Captain will send it to the owner, now they will start targeting us.
Okay,
It wasn't targeted.
so that just happened.
Right, Tony called Capital because Chuck came in.
Yep.
And then Tony called him and they only sent it to the owner and then called him.
Oh,
So now she's targeting us.
Okay.
on Whenever they get their results.
and is she sending us previous tests?
I'd have to ask Tony. I know they're gonna, going forward, give us a copy of that.
Okay,
They were always going to the owner.
that was for trash guy.
Actually, I think it was for the wood chips, when they had the chip.
Well, there was one monitoring well
That was
there.
for the trash.
Was it
Yeah.
the trash too, yeah,
Yeah.
but I thought there was one out there too for the wood.
You're right.
The
Chip
wood
pile,
was
'cause that
leaching.
was-
It was leaching out or something.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, somebody was complaining, it
Yeah,
was.
That's why, yeah.
I remember that.
All right, I just didn't want to forgotten.
Good job.
I don't know if, speaking of monitoring wells, do we have any at the other place we went and looked at across the way?
No, Riverdale
Not
was
yet.
one.
B&B? Oh, I mean, all clear?
Well, not yet. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Tony's,
on that.
Approaching that, yes.
I had said something to him a while back about it, but, that, I don't know, because I know that the last time we had anything to do with it was Ulster Landscaping, filed
in the end,
site plan for that and was talking about buying it as soon as he cleaned it up, but
he-
no. No, I know, I went in there for something else and I go,
yeah, that's on Tony's hit list. He may have
His punch-
started,
his punch
he
list.
might have started doing something about it already. I don't know. Is there anything else, anybody?
I moved to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:12. I'd say.
Bingo.
8:11 to be exact.